of justice. It is with profound humility and unwavering resolve that I address you today as the National President of Buddhist Society of India, an organization founded by my great-granduncle Dr. Bhimrao Ramji Ambedkar, the architect of India's constitution, a revolutionary scholar, and the indomitable voice against caste oppression. As we gather for the Global Conference for a Caste-Free World 2025, under the theme Building Solidarity Towards Equality, Social Justice and Abolition of Caste System, I stand inspired by Dr. Ambedkar's clarion call to annihilate caste and his vision that transcends borders, igniting a global movement for equality and human dignity. His influence, rooted in his relentless fight against caste, resonates worldwide, offering a blueprint for dismantling systematic oppression and fostering solidarity across cultures and continents. Dr. Ambedkar defined caste as not merely a division of labor, but a division of laborers, a hierarchical system that dehumanizes millions based on birth. In his seminal work, Annihilation of Caste, in 1936, he described caste as a state of mind, a notional barrier that entrenches social, economic, and cultural inequities. His analysis was not confined to India. He saw caste as a universal archetype of exclusion comparable to systems of racial and class oppression globally. His scholarship drew parallels with slavery in America and apartheid in South Africa, positioning caste as a global human rights issue. Born into a so-called untouchable Mahar family in 1891, Dr. Ambedkar faced the brutal realities of caste discrimination firsthand, segregated in school, denied access to public water sources, and ostracized despite his academic brilliance. Yet he transformed personal adversity into a global mission. Educated at Columbia University and the London School of Economics, he engaged with thinkers like John Dewey, whose pragmatism shaped his approach to social reform. His global perspective was evident in his 1916 paper, Castes in India, Their Mechanism, Genesis and Development, where he analyzed caste as a system of endogamy, a framework that resonates with global discussions on systematic discrimination. Caste impacts are staggering. In India, over 200 million Dalits face systematic exclusion. The National Crime Records Bureau reported 45,935 cases of crimes against scheduled castes in 2019, including 4,000 cases of physical violence. Economically, Dalits are disproportionately represented in low-paying manual labor jobs, with self-employed scheduled castes workers earning 20 to 30% less than their non-scheduled caste, scheduled tribe counterparts. Health inequities are rampant. A 2020 study in The Lancet highlighted that Dalits face higher rates of malnutrition and limited access to healthcare due to social stigma. Culturally, caste dictates social interactions from marriage to dining, perpetuating exclusion even in urban settings. Dr. Ambedkar's global influence lies in his ability to universalize the caste struggle. His 1956 conversion to Buddhism, alongside 5 lakh followers, was not just rejection of Hinduism's caste hierarchy, but a global statement of embracing an egalitarian philosophy. Buddhist principles of compassion and equality inspired movements in Japan, where Burakumin communities facing similar descent-based discrimination adopted Ambedkarite ideas. In the UK, Dalit diaspora organizations like Caste Watch UK, Anti-Caste Discrimination Alliance draw on his teachings to combat caste prejudice. His influence extends to the US, where scholars like Cornel West have cited Ambedkar's work in discussions on systematic injustice, underscoring his relevance to global anti-oppression movements. The fight to recognize caste as a distinct factor of discrimination in international human rights framework is a direct extension of Dr. Ambedkar's legacy. In 2001, Dalit activists at the United Nations World Conference Against Racism in Durban pushed for caste to be classified as a descent-based discrimination. Despite India's government dismissing caste as an internal matter, the NGO Forum's declaration acknowledged it, marking a milestone. Dr. Ambedkar's earlier advocacy for internationalizing caste issues, evident in his correspondence with W.E.B. Du Bois, laid the groundwork for this global dialogue. Recent developments amplify this cause. In 2023, Seattle became the first US city to ban caste-based discrimination, followed by California's 2023 legislation. Institutions like California State University and Brandeis University have adopted anti-caste policies, reflecting Dr. Ambedkar's influence in framing caste as a global human rights violation. The 2020 Cisco lawsuit, where a Dalit employee alleged caste-based harassment, highlighted how caste travels with the Indian diaspora, affecting workplaces and communities in the US, UK, Canada, and Australia. Recognizing caste as a factor of discrimination does not perpetuate caste identities but exposes their systematic harm, enabling targeted legal protections. Dr. Ambedkar distinguished caste from race, noting in Annihilation of Caste that the caste system does not demarcate racial division but operates as a social hierarchy within a race. Yet, he supported global advocacy as seen in his engagement with the 1942 All India Depressed Classes Conference, where he called for international solidarity against oppression. This recognition aligns with his vision of a casteless society by dismantling the structure that sustained caste. From legal impunity to social prejudice, as is here, we must champion this cause, ensuring caste is addressed in global framework like the UN's Sustainable Development Goals, which emphasize equality and inclusion. Dr. Ambedkar supported caste enumeration to ensure equitable representation and inform affirmative action, as seen in his advocacy during the 1951 census debates. The recent announcement of caste-based census in India, the first since 1931, ostensibly aims to fulfill this vision. However, its execution under the Bharatiya Janata Party BJP-led government raises serious concerns. The BJP, historically resistant to caste enumeration to maintain a unified Hindu identity, shifted its stance post-2024 election, likely to counter losses in states like Bihar, where a 2023 state-level caste survey revealed that other backward classes and extremely backward classes constitute 63.1% of the population. This census risks being an eyewash. The 2011 Social, Economic and Caste Census conducted under the Congress government was marked by the incomplete data release and methodological flaws, with estimates of OBC population varying widely. Allegations persist that the BJP may manipulate the upcoming census to underreport marginalized caste populations, limiting their access to reservations in education and jobs. Such manipulation undermines Dr. Babasaheb Ambedkar's vision of data-driven justice, as seen in his insistence on accurate representation in the Pune Pact, which secured reserved seats for depressed classes. Another India's anti-conversion law, enacted in states like Uttar Pradesh, Madhya Pradesh and Gujarat, pose a direct challenge to Dr. Ambedkar's legacy of social transformation. These laws, framed as protection against forced conversions, often target Dalits and Adivasis who seek to escape caste oppression through religious conversion. Dr. Ambedkar's 1956 conversion to Buddhism, alongside millions, was a radical rejection of Hinduism's caste hierarchy. He saw Buddhism as a path to equality, declaring, I was born a Hindu, but I will not die a Hindu. His Buddha and his Dhamma articulates a vision of religion as a liberatory force free from caste chains. Anti-conversion laws undermine this legacy. In Uttar Pradesh, the 2020 prohibition of unlawful conversion of religion ordinance imposes up to 7 years imprisonment for conversions deemed fraudulent or coerced, with vague definitions that proportionately affects Dalits converting to Buddhism or Christianity. These laws violate Article 25 of Indian Constitution, which Dr. Ambedkar helped draft, guaranteeing freedom of religion. Globally, these laws have drawn criticism. A 2022 UN report highlighted their impact on religious minorities and Dalits, urging India to align with international human rights standards. As the Buddhist Society of India, I have opposed these laws, advocating for the right to religious choice as a cornerstone of dismantling caste oppression. Dr. Ambedkar's global influence, evident in Buddhist revival movements in Sri Lanka and Thailand, underscores the universal appeal of his vision, which these laws threaten to stifle. Dr. Ambedkar's word in Annihilation of Caste ring true today. Caste is a notion, it is a state of mind. His global influence, from inspiring Dalit diaspora movement to shaping international human rights discourse, offers hope for a casteless future. Recognizing caste as a factor of discrimination is not an endorsement of caste, but a step toward its annihilation. Exposing its harm to enable justice, we must reject manipulated census and oppressive anti-conversion laws, holding fast to Ambedkar's vision of liberty, equality, and fraternity. As we stand at this global crossroads, let us ignite a casteless future, drawing on Dr. Babasaheb Ambedkar's legacy to build solidarity across borders. Let us educate, agitate, and organize, ensuring that dignity is not determined by birth, but by our shared humanity. Together, we can fulfill his dream of a world where justice prevails. Jai Bhim, Namo Buddhaya. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Ambedkar sir, for your inspiring remarks. And we really commend your lifelong commitment to promote equality and justice.